Declan's my name and fish is my game.
The funny thing is, a couple of people have said he has a slight Punjabi look to him. I was like, I don't know. It brought tears to my eyes the other day because they called Declan a Juju.
Juju.
They said that he's the second Juju of India, and the first one being Nick Jonas.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so much bigger than what they're saying about you. It's what it's being said about me.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to The Print. This is Priya Gulati, and as you can see, we have a delicious breakfast spread here. Of course, I'm not going to eat it by myself. I have two very special guests joining me today, all the way from Australia. One is all about surf and turf, while the other is all about fine dining. From squidding to kebab, she has worked with everything. And the other is very particular about the fishes. I think you just got it right. Of course, I am joined by Sarah Todd and Declan Cleary, MasterChef royalty, and of course the new it couple of social media. Welcome to The Print, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
We are, look, I'm so excited to have Declan here in India. I think you all know the love that I have of regional cuisine and just the culture and food and people and everything. So
I'm so excited to be here, and I think all the food I've been eating speaks for how much I'm enjoying myself. We visited the Taj yesterday. I think that's a bucket list thing I've always wanted to tick off, and trying to remember all the foods that I'm eating. I'm creating quite a large list in my phone so I don't forget it, and capturing them all on my phone so I can look back at these beautiful memories.
So why did we pick South Indian breakfast for today? Like, any particular reason? Like, do you guys have a soft spot for dosas and idli?
I personally love dosa. It's my favorite breakfast in India, but yeah, I think it's a nice dish that we can share and enjoy while we're here. So
I'm all for a savoury breakfast, and whatever country or destination I'm visiting, I think, you can get eggs and bacon anywhere. I cook that at home a lot, but we're here in India, here in Delhi, and why not start the day with a dosa?
I think that's absolutely perfect. But also tell me, over these days that you have, how many days have you been in India?
I think it's 8 in total.
Yeah,
8
so far,
total.
8.
Yeah.
So what all breakfast dishes you've had over the last 8 days?
So he's actually learned to make it as well, but paratha and anda back home.
Yes.
So I made it for him first, and then now he's been making it.
Yeah,
as
with
well.
scrambled eggs at home, and it's
Yeah.
delicious. So it's a different kind of wheat flour.
Yeah, whole wheat flour.
Whole wheat flour.
Whole wheat flour.
And making them. But I think, breakfast over here while we've been here 8 days, it's been a staple to have dosas. And what are these little pillowy numbers?
Idli.
Little idli, dosa, sometimes a little bit spicy with the masala, sometimes plain. I think it's an explosion of flavours in my mouth,
Right.
and I'm absolutely loving it.
How was this 8-day trip? If you could just sum it up for our audience, what all did you do? Where all did you go?
I have to say that Declan said that this is the most full he's ever been in his life, and I took that as a win because I'm like, there's just so much to eat and see and try, and he's been filling up on all of it. So I was like, I finally filled him up.
I think that one word would just be full. The days are full, the belly's full, the mind's full. You go outside, it's, there's never a dull moment.
Right. Declan, it was your first time in India, right? Did you have, through her stories, through social media, did you have a certain impression about the country? And did it change when you yourself visited here?
I think it's exactly what I thought it was going to be. Obviously, I had a take from all Sarah's socials, but, growing up watching movies like the Marigold Hotel and all the beautiful colours and spices and, Sarah's street food videos, I'm like, I know what I'm coming into, and I love it. And the moment we got off at the airport and it was hot and muggy and the screeching of the horns, I'm like, get me to the hotel so I can have a shower and then take me out to dinner. And that's what she did. And we went to a thali for my first dinner, and it was the best start to the trip.
What all did you have with thali?
Oh.
It was a vegetarian thali,
Yeah.
so he had a
Did you
lot.
not miss your fish and your beef?
No, I think we eat a lot of veg at home. Like we don't sort of, we're not refining our diet to always having meat, always having fish. Obviously, we love fish. Probably have seafood once or twice a week, meat once or twice a week, and then veg the rest. But that veg thali really set the standard for the rest of the trip.
You know, let me take you back to your first visit to India. What was that thing, that initial nudge that sort of pulled you to India? Why did you think that, okay, out of all the places, I'm going to head to India and explore the food?
So I made aloo gobi on season 6 of MasterChef, and overnight when that episode aired in India, I had 50,000 followers on my social media from India alone.
Wow.
And I was like, what is going on? I need to see what this is all about. So I ended up planning a trip to India. I did Delhi, Mumbai, Goa. I did dinners in the cities and some masterclasses. And the moment I got off the plane, I was just so overwhelmed with how much love that everyone in India had for MasterChef and for me. And I just had never seen that kind of hospitality. And where literally, you know, a young family and her 2 young kids took me into Chutney Chowk, Old Delhi, for a whole day. You know what it's like. It's, you know, I can't imagine that sort of hospitality in any other country where people take their entire day to show me around into these beautiful places. And it just felt like there was so much passion for the food. And I really took that on board, and just that hospitality. I felt so much love, and I was like, I'm from a town of 2,000 people, by the way. I'm from a very, very small town.
Very small town, yeah.
There's probably more than 2,000 just here in this building. And I was just like, I think I was, you know, the same thing. All of my senses were hit in terms of, you know, the colors, the smells, the hospitality. I think I was just so overwhelmed in the best possible way that I just wanted to see more. And you know, now it's 11 years on, and I am still seeing so much for the first time.
You know what? My follow-up question was that what brings you back again and again?
Just honestly, the diversity, and we just spoke about it. But you know, we're lucky in Australia. We're very multicultural. You can get a cuisine from every country in the world, and it's beautifully done. But in India, you can eat 100 different cuisines that are from the one country in one city, or you know, traveling around, and it's so different and so diverse. And it's just, you know, I'm eating things that I've never eaten before, even after 11 years. And some days I eat 10 meals. I'm like, I'm still not even scratching the surface of what there is on offer.
You just mentioned that it all started with this one aloo gobi dish that you cooked on MasterChef Australia. You know, aloo gobi for us, it's like our everyday food. It's something our mums, our grandmoms have cooked for years and years. How did you get that recipe? Or like, you know, where did you learn how to make aloo gobi from?
So my son's half Indian, and his bibi taught me how to make it. So I've learned that authentic recipe. But also, you know, I think just understanding that same thing. Like, I've eaten at so many Indian restaurants in Australia, and I've never eaten Indian food like this. And last night we ate here at Dubba, and we had a home-style chicken curry. He's never eaten a chicken curry like that, you know, aside from what we
You had dinner at a dhaba last night? That's so cool,
And it's like, you know, he's had the butter chickens, he's had the Rogan Josh, he's had, you know, dal makhni, but then to come and eat a home-style chicken curry,
it's delicious.
It's so different, and it's so light. And it is everyday food. And, you know, I think there's this misconception that Indian food is really heavy and, you know,
greasy, spicy.
Exactly. And there's so many dishes that are really light and so nutritious and full of flavor, but really light. So I think it's, you know, getting to eat all of those style dishes. Like, my favorite thing to do when I go to a new city is to eat a home meal from somebody. And usually everyone's so hospitable. They'll be like, my auntie can cook for you, and they bring me over, and I'm eating these incredible dishes that, you know, if you search on Google or you search restaurants, you don't get to find that. So I think home food is so important. But like you said earlier, there's so many of these regional cuisines and home style cuisines that are now making it to the forefront, which is so necessary.
And my next question is for you, and I will not, I mean, don't let me stop you from relishing this, like, because it will get cold. Declan, Sarah just mentioned, right, that you were in complete awe and wowed by whatever you saw here. Tell me a little, like, anecdotes about, like, certain memories that you're going to take back with you.
I think it's the food. It's all in the food for me. I think It's so different to any Indian food I've tried back home in Australia or wherever I've been in the world. Coming here,
like if you could give some
the
examples.
spices, starting the trip with the thali, and you know, going into a restaurant and you don't order. there you get, you know, 7 to 10 little bowls. Excuse me, 7 to 10 little bowls, and they just come over and they're filling up your bowls with all different sorts of curries and masala mixes and proteins and sweets
Do you remember anything from that thali that you tried that day?
I loved the little chickpea number.
Yeah, so he had the chickpea curry.
It was
Also,
a chickpea curry.
He had the jaggery, and it was like a flour jaggery kind
Okay.
of
Yeah.
dessert sort of element, but again, all served with all the savoury
Okay.
dishes.
I butcher the names of everything, even like English pronunciation. I'm terrible at, so I'm not even going to attempt the Indian pronunciation. But I've created a list on my phone. But I think, you know, being lucky enough to grow up traveling the world and Asia, my taste buds have become accustomed to spice tolerance, whether it's heat or you know, heavy spice mixes.
Yeah.
And I really came to India with no intentions of what it would be, like food-wise, and it's just blown it out of the park. Like, I can't compare the food and the flavour to anywhere else in the world.
Wow.
And I do have the best tour guide with me, but I feel so safe eating everything. You know, it's which I think is a big misconception for Australia and Westerners back home, is like, you know, everyone's like, you're getting sick, you know, you're constantly, it's like, no, I'm eating really good food and I'm feeling good, and it's no different to, you know, going to other countries and eating in proper place.
Sarah, in MasterChef Australia, you know, you have appeared 3 times on that cooking show, and every time you have through your dishes put across Indian food or Indian ingredients. Like I remember you cooking kebabs on on the tandoor once, right? And also the tandoor, the roti, the flatbread. So how has Indian cooking influenced your individual style?
I think for me, it's definitely the cooking techniques is something that has really come through a lot. I think that, you know, from going up to Assam and going into a traditional kitchen and seeing their setup, they have the flames on the ground, then they have the multiple layers, so they're kind of smoking skewers on the side, and then they've got, you know, a grill that's a meter or so higher, which is sort of dehydrating, and it's kind of going back to the roots of cooking and using all of those techniques to add flavor, you know, and in India we see that, yes, spices is a big part of it, but in the Northeast, you're not actually using a lot of spices.
Yeah.
So it's more the techniques, which I've really taken a lot back from. So in my dishes, I used a lot of those creative cooking methods in my cooking, and then played around with flavors. I think that just coming to India, and I've seen so much that my brain has kind of become loaded with all of this, you know, these memories and nostalgia. And it's just pulling on kind of little moments that I've experienced.
You know, because it's Declan's first visit and you've just covered Delhi and Bombay, but you have traveled extensively in India. Which particular region, like you mentioned Northeast, so that's why I'm asking this question, that which particular region sort of you think inspired you the most, and why?
Honestly, like I couldn't say one.
Because you have traveled to Northeast, you have had a restaurant in Goa, and you have done so many food videos on the South Indian food. So which region has inspired you the most? If you have to pick one, and you have to.
I can't pick one. Like I've done so many places. I've got dishes from every city, whether it's the Kalari cheese and the poi bread with the chutneys inside in Ludhiana. Then up in the Northeast in Nagaland having pork-a-coney, then in the South having, you know, the beautiful fish and the banana leaf in Kerala, and then you go to Goa and then it's the Portuguese influence, which, you know, I was blown away when I went to Kerala, because I thought, how much difference would there be from Kerala to Goa? It's a similar, you know, area on the map. It's similar ingredients, and it was totally different. So I could not say one.
So little bit from everywhere has sort of influenced your individual cooking style.
Absolutely everywhere.
And how do you bring in your Australian roots to that? Because I think that's more complex and challenging, right?
Yeah.
So how do you bring in that?
Well, we're really lucky because Australia is so diverse. Our cuisine is a touch of every country. You know, if you look at the dishes that we would have, most families in Australia every night of the week kind of had a similar repertoire of dishes, whether it was Italian spaghetti or
Stir fry,
Asian stir fry. I don't know,
curries.
Curries,
Like
yeah.
it's an affordable way to feed a big family. It's
Yeah.
stir fry, getting all the nutrients, all the colours,
Right.
and then curries at home. If you've got a family of 4, 5, 6, or 7, a big bowl of rice with some sort of curry.
Exactly,
Yeah.
right.
So we're used to playing around with different flavors, and
Yeah.
it's not something unfamiliar for us. So I think when we experiment with food, it's not as tough for us. I think it's tougher when you have such a rich cuisine in India that you grow up having these flavors. It's actually hard to experiment with them because, I mean, how can you improve a dosa? Like, it's been around for how many thousands of years?
Right.
Why would you even bother?
Yeah.
You know, it's so amazing as it is. So I think that can at times shelter the mind a little bit in terms of creativity. And I found, you know, when I first came to India, I just used to cook everything authentically, or as authentically as I could.
Okay.
And I'd studied French cuisine, so I made French cuisine really authentically. And now it's like I've kind of come to this place where it's like, these are Sarah dishes. No one in the world has made this. I'm making it up from my
And I think
experiences.
that's something you like in the earlier this year in the MasterChef Back to Win. I think from the start, that's what you always did with your dishes, like, you know, blending French techniques and Indian flavors and a little bit of Australian touch to that. And
Yeah.
I think that's what makes you.
Yeah.
That what
Thank
is
you.
the individuality you bring to the table. You know, as you, nobody can replicate it basically.
Yeah. Thank you.
So Indian food, if we talk about Indian food's representation abroad, if you ask anybody what is Indian food, and the first thing they're gonna say is butter chicken,
Yes.
Yeah.
chicken tikka masala,
Yeah.
right?
Exactly.
At max dal makhni,
Yeah.
right? What is from your travel, both of you, and one by one,
Yeah.
individual dishes, no copy.
Can I get out my phone to look at the pronunciation of the name?
I can help you. I can help you.
What is that one Indian dish that you think is sort of not that deserves more representation abroad, that deserves global attention, but is sort of quiet
Yeah.
and has a lot of potential, right?
I think actually in the Northeast, there's a couple of dish names which I don't know exactly the dish names,
Okay.
but they use the fermented sort of fish paste. They use fermented bamboo shoot, and you know, not a lot of spices. And I think that showing that this is Indian cuisine as well is something that it would be really amazing if they could share, because it's so different and unique, and I think that would be beautiful.
Right.
I think to start pani puri. I think it's such a simple yet elevated bite-sized dish that people can make on a budget. Families can add their touch of flavour to it, and you can eat until you're full. You know, there will be no shortage.
It's like the new Taco Tuesday. It could be Pani Puri
you know,
Friday or something.
but it's like it's just something that, you know, you're sitting there and you're eating one after the other until you're full.
Yeah.
And every time you put one in your mouth, it's a burst of flavour. And
How
it's
many pani puris were you able to eat in one go?
I did 10. I could have gone more. I think if
So did you try it in Delhi or Bombay?
in Bombay,
Okay.
yeah. And Sarah's made pani puris at home for us.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, like I'm just looking at the broader group. Like, not a lot of people would have tried them. I'd never tried them until Sarah made them at home.
Yeah.
And then, you know, that did a justice on what we were eating here in Mumbai.
Yeah.
So pani puri's there.
Yeah.
Back to you.
Yeah, I think, oh gosh. I mean, I really fell in love with the Kerala cuisine as well. I think
Any specific reasons? Any dishes like?
yeah, I think I'm forgetting the name, the soup.
Okay.
Do you know the Kerala soup dish?
I mean, there are
I need
many.
to, yeah, my brain's not remembering everything
No
at
worries,
the moment,
no
but
worries. But
there's
like,
yeah. There's just so many dishes from, I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
like, what else is one? We made,
So some of like you know, the dishes Sarah's probably not spilling out is because they're so common. But chole bhature, like for me, like, you know, that was so special, like a beautiful puffy
Chole
bread.
bhature.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's one of my favorites.
You know,
I was like, that's the first thing he has
stuffed,
to try.
You know, it's got stuffing on the bread, so you know, if you're younger and you don't want to dip it in a spicy curry or something, you can sit there and eat the bread. I know my cousins, very fussy eaters, and they'd just be happy with the bread. Is that the chole?
Yeah, the bhature.
The bhature.
Bhature.
And then, you know, if you want to spice it up, you want to get those different flavors, you can dip it in the sauce, have it with the pickles, have it with the chili and the onions.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's underrated.
Did you also
for
have
sure.
lassi along with it?
He's had lots
they
of
were there,
lassies.
but I wasn't
Yeah.
feeling. I had a Diet Coke.
Even, yeah.
But I've had
Even-
Because
lots
if you would have had the lassi, you would have slept.
Okay.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have gone to Agra.
Okay, don't
see
you
the
worry.
Taj.
I slept. I'm sleeping well.
Even papdi chaat is one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Again, it's common here, but people
Yeah.
around the world don't know.
So do you think that like things like pani puri or papdi
Papdi.
chaat, they can get that kind of
Oh
global
my
attention?
gosh,
Yeah.
people! I have made papdi chaat for quite a few people, and even just like the chaat masala, it's like a little drug for them. My friends would come over and I make up little pouches of like chaat masala for them to take back because they're like they've never tasted a spice mix like chaat
Wow.
masala. And it's so common. Like you're thinking, what the hell? Like
Yeah,
chaat
exactly,
masala is on
yeah.
everything, and you've tasted it so many times, but internationally, people have never really heard of it, or
Chaat
just
masala, wow.
yeah.
I haven't.
Did you visit Delhi Spice Market?
I didn't
No,
go
we
to
didn't
Delhi
make it
Spice.
in
I
there.
went to a big spice market. I don't know where it was,
Okay.
but it was just big buckets full of spices. you
Where,
know.
in Delhi or Bombay?
In Delhi,
Yeah,
maybe
okay.
like 10 minutes from here.
Okay.
So that was incredible. But you know, I'm quite seasoned with my spices worldwide. I think one that like I've really caught on to is Kashmiri chili, and I didn't really know what that was until Sarah came into my life, and we seem to be putting that in everything at home.
I'm obsessed.
Tablespoons of it.
And how do you think that Kashmiri chili is different from the regular chili?
Just like all chili powders, you know, it's a unique type of chili powder. It doesn't hit as hard.
Yeah.
Like it's not as like potent with its chili, and it's a bit more aromatic, which I love. Because if I'm eating a dish, like everyone says, you know, going to India, you know, there's going to be so many spices, everything's going to be spicy. I thought it was spice like heat. It's spices, as in all the spices that go into a dish. So, you know, like using Kashmiri chili powder at home, like you can put quite a substantial amount of it in a dish, and it's not going to blow your head off.
I remember you marinating a fish for this particular video, and you went ham on putting Kashmiri chili, and you made it a point saying that, you know, Sarah introduced me to this.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Right. So apart from that, any other spice from India you felt like?
the black salt.
Oh yeah, black salt. Yeah, I think that's very unique, and it's a bit of a love-hate relationship at the moment.
Why love hate?
I think the smell gets me, but then you know what was the coca? The drink?
We just had a drink last night. And,
we had a couple.
yeah, it's kind of like so you know the kokum
Yeah,
drink.
Kokum, okay, yeah, it's
So
a
we had
fermented
that.
drink.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
completely non-alcoholic, and same,
Yeah.
same with like the lemon.
It's
lemon
like
soda.
kanji or like a
Colour.
kombucha. Yeah,
Yeah.
And so you know you lift up the glass and you put it to your nose and you get that smell of the black salt, and it's a tiny bit
Yeah.
off-putting for me.
Yeah.
But then, you know, you take a sip and you're like, wow, it really works. So Sarah's saying it's going to grow on me.
It grows on you.
but-
And
It does.
I appreciate the flavour. I'm all for, you know, all the 5 flavours. I've, you know, got quite good senses everywhere. So
Yeah.
I can push the scent to the side and focus on the taste that it adds. And it does give drinks that I've had. We've had multiple. I think, you
Yeah.
know, the first one on the street was the lemon soda.
we just had nimbu pani.
Nimbu
Okay.
pani.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then so she's like, oh, it's got the black salt in it. And I'm like, oh, no, no. I'm like, we've got a big jar of it at home. And
He's
I
like
opened
been
it up at
smelling it.
home. And I'm like, whoa, this
I'm
is
like,
off.
You don't smell it. Just
No.
like you've got to have it in the dish and
Yeah.
not
Right.
think about it.
And it does. It
But-
complements it. And I think, you know, that like being a chef and being a lover of cooking food, that's what all dishes is about, is balancing the flavour.
Yeah.
And the black salt definitely works.
And another one is mustard oil. It's something that's unfamiliar for our Australian palate
Yeah.
because as you know, it's not used in things like butter chicken and all of that. So even in Indian cuisine, you don't get to try it in Australia, and we don't use it for anything. So I think that's something that took me a little while to get used to, and now I love it. And Declan was like, oh, that's an interesting taste and dish. I'm like, it's the mustard oil that we're not used to that flavor, and it's again something that grows on you and you end up loving it.
And again, talking about the spices, what are certain Indian spices that like you love and you prefer incorporating it in your food?
I think that you know, I feel like
was there a naga chili?
Yeah, the naga chili we love.
Yeah.
The ghost chili.
Yeah.
But amla, like mango powder, is it
we
amla?
call it amchur.
Amchur, sorry, amchur. Amchur powder is something that I've started using a lot of because it adds a real tanginess to a dish. But it's, you know, all the other spices are all available in Australia and used for certain dishes, but it's the combination in India. So I think that's the other thing is, you know, a South Indian spice blend is different to a North Indian spice blend, to a West Bengal, to, you know, all over. So, and then in dishes themselves. So Declan has been making up some spice blends at home with me.
Oh, wow.
And seeing how different that they are, you know, like we, you know, make some in the ratio and, you know, some obviously cross over in terms of some of the spices, but it's all about the ratios and how different that makes a dish.
Sarah, for you, do you feel like a sense of pride and, you know, because of this responsibility that sort of naturally has come upon you to be the bridge between Indian and Australian cuisine? And how have you been navigating it?
It brought tears to my eyes the other day because they called Declan a Juju. Juju. And
where did it happen? Like a little anecdote. I need a little backstory about this.
It's been a few people.
They said that he's the second Juju of India, and the first one being Nick Jonas. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's so much bigger than what they're saying about you. It's what it's being said about me. And, you know, I love India and I treat it like a home. And I know that I've been connected to India in another way for a very long time. And I felt a huge responsibility to sort of represent India in the way that I see it and to show the world that, to not be afraid of coming to India and to know that, you know, I'm a female and I travel alone across India. I mean, not anymore, but I always travel across India on my own and have for the last 11 years. You know, nobody comes with me. It's always me alone. And I go to these foreign places that even the other day, a young girl said to me that she's booked a trip up to the Northeast because she watched my videos and going to Azol. And it's like, you know, so incredible to hear that and that I'm influencing people to explore these new regions and to feel comfortable. And, you know, I think that Declan is very open-minded, but in the beginning, I used to get a lot of these comments about, you know, do I get sick? And I don't really even bother answering them because I think my content speaks for itself. I wouldn't be going around and, you know, I think in a period of 3 months, I ate, I think it was 90 different street foods.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't get sick once. And, you know, I think that, you know, there's a bit of just, what's it called? Like what's the word? Like just, the word
We're
like,
not that in sync yet.
no, like just for someone, you know, say in Australia, like you walk into a restaurant and, you know, you see something that's unhygienic, you don't eat there. So it's like you have to just use your own intuition in places. And I do the same. I just look at a place, I, you know, see the way things are being prepared and you know, you can see if a place is good or bad in Australia and India and around the world. So I think there's just a little bit of that has to come from you.
Bit of common sense.
Common sense, that's the word I was thinking of. Common sense.
But
Very much in sync.
You got there in the end.
But it's true. Like, you know, with a population of nearly 1.5 billion, like obviously the roads are going to have a few more cracks in it. You know, the buildings, you know, might need a bit more of a touch up and stuff like that. But these places we're visiting to eat, the people take pride in the food they're giving out. It's like, you know, you go to a coffee shop at home, like people take pride in the coffee they're making. The restaurants you eat at, you're putting out a dish. So it's like, obviously we're going to eat at places and, you know, people want to feed you. Everyone's always going to be eating. Everyone's, you know, these kind of things. So it's like, I think it's a misconception of, you know, like it's a judgment, and
Yeah.
I think that's where people fall short. Is like not only visiting India but a lot of experience in life.
Yeah.
Don't pass judgment. Like you can't
Yeah.
knock it until you try.
I saw your eyes getting welled up when you were talking about that about this responsibility that you
Yeah.
have. Just to have a little fun here, could you tell me the story, like what happened, how and who called him the Jiju, the second Jiju of India? Do you guys remember when and where that conversation happened?
I know that one of the tuk-tuk drivers said it. Like he was like, he's like, I'm just getting this radiant energy from you both. And then he was familiar with Sarah and,
Oh wow.
bumping into people on the street and they've seen Sarah on socials and her videos, but it's so much more than that. It's like the lady was saying, I booked a trip because of you. I visited this street food stall because of you. The influence is incredible. And I've seen it multiple comments online in the photos of us and then to hear it from an outsider on the street, it is beautiful.
I think it's really sweet.
And Sarah takes so much pride in everything she does, whether it's a dish she's cooking at home or an interview like this, and then coming to India with her, I see her passion and how much she loves it. And it's such a big country, and there's so many different states and cities inside of it. I can see why she's still been traveling for 11 years, and she's only just scratched the surface.
Scratch the surface. Yes, for sure. Okay, so we'll have a quick rapid fire.
Yes.
Right.
Let's do it.
First, we'll start with like one-word answers, and then I'll ask you to make some tough choices. Okay. So, if you had one final Indian meal to eat before taking off, it could be a starter, main, or dessert. What would that be?
Each?
Yeah.
I'd
Each.
probably have that little
Gulab jamun
gulab,
with rabri.
yeah.
And Sarah, what would that be for you?
So, I mean, it's actually the first dish I have to have when I land, and it's always a dosa.
Okay.
Every time I land, it's always my first meal. So,
And here you go.
and now it's actually my last meal today.
Like quickly, how did you exactly fall in love with dosa?
I don't know how I fell in love with dosa.
How can you not fall in love with dosa?
I mean, it's so beautiful. Like you get the fermented flavor of the crepe itself. I think the crispiness. I think the masala inside. I think
it's cooked in ghee, like the
yeah,
crepe.
exactly.
Like, so that fatty richness from the ghee, the clarified butter, the sauces you dip.
And I think the uniqueness of it. We. Like you said, there's a lot of sweet dishes that we have for breakfast, whether it's pancakes or waffles and things like that. And I'm very much a savory breakfast person, and you don't always want to eat eggs.
Yeah.
So what's the options? And I get to India and I'm like, it has to be a dosa.
Yeah. Sorry, I forgot this is rapid fire.
No worries. Okay. So if you had to design an Indo-Australian fusion dish after this trip, I know what your answer is going to be, but still let me just ask you, what would that dish be?
Do you know?
Well, we have an event coming up,
Yeah.
and we've been brainstorming for that.
Yeah.
So I think we can have that dish.
We're going to be doing like a pani puri.
Pani puri,
I think
Barramundi ceviche.
Yeah, so
Oh,
like
yeah.
a cured fish, whether it's citrus cured or
Yeah.
something, it's going to have, the
A spiced-
implement of the spice mix in it.
Spiced.
Declan,
broth.
you have this really famous line that you
Yes.
said on MasterChef.
Yeah.
Could you just say it once for our viewers?
Declan's my name and fish is my game. and
So, did you get to try any fish here in
we-
Delhi or Bombay?
Yeah, we did. We've had we had a steamed fish. We've had prawns and seafood done over the fire on
In the
skewers
tandoor.
in masala mix.
Yeah.
We made a polichattu
Yeah.
not too long ago. I don't know how my pronunciation was, but
Yeah, you're getting there.
Yeah, like I love cooking on the fire and charcoal
Mm-hmm.
back home. Sarah knows that. So, always, whether it's wrapping a fish up in a banana leaf and doing it on the charcoal, whether it's having little skewers over the fire, like Sarah was saying, you get the flavour of the charcoal, that smokiness, that different kind of cook. And I've tried lots of seafood and I can't wait to, go to
try those techniques back
Yeah,
home.
yes.
Right. Okay, if you could collaborate with one Indian chef or home cook, who would it be and why?
Ooh, that is a tough one, but I feel like an Indian chef. I always love Vikas Khanna and I love what he's doing. I think that again, being a voice of Indian food globally is a really nice thing. So I'd love to cook with him. I have actually cooked with him before, so it's probably a little bit cheating. But I honestly just think a family, like in a region where is a little bit unknown, maybe Orissa, and go and cook with a family there, I think would be something that I'd love to do.
Oh, that's so sweet. And
she ate the words out of my mouth. I think I've seen in Sarah's videos, you know, going into people's homes, and you know, just a little setup on the floor. Maybe it might be cooking over fire. I love cooking over fire and charcoal.
Oh, okay.
You know, I was a big camper back in Australia, so very accustomed to cooking outdoors and sort of catch and cook and using what's around you, and you know, I guess it's kind of a mystery box. You get what you get, and you sort of make something out of that. But I think on our next trip, we'll definitely have to do a big meet and greet, and I think we'll also have to, you know, find a couple of people that are willing to put us up to cook in their home with them.
Okay, now you'll have to pick one, and this is actually going to be a rapid fire. Okay. All right. So I'll ask, and one after the other, you pick your make your choice.
Start with Sarah.
Okay. Pani puri or papri chaat?
Papri chaat.
Pani puri.
Okay. Idli or dosa?
Dosa.
Dosa.
Really?
Yeah.
I just 10 minutes ago you were like all like, you know, going all about idli.
Yeah.
Still
prefer
dosa.
Still dosa. Okay. Vada pav or chole bhature?
Chole bhature.
Or what?
Vada pav or chole bhature?
Oh, chole bhature. Yeah.
Chole bhature or dosa?
Oh,
Chole
that's tough.
bhature.
Yeah, I'm gonna say chole bhature too.
Okay. Kakori kebabs or seekh kebabs?
Seekh kebabs.
What's a seekh kebab?
Sorry, the more chunky meats.
Oh yes, seekh kebab. Yeah.
Seekh kebab. Okay. I know you had rabri and gulab jamun together.
Oh, don't make me choose.
But
yeah.
Rabri or gulab jamun, one thing if you have to pick,
Rabri.
what would that be?
Oh, okay, gulab jamun.
Now the toughest choice.
Yeah.
You've had food in Delhi.
Yeah.
You've had food in Bombay.
Yeah.
Which city would you pick for the food?
I can't.
You have to pick one.
So
see,
different.
one always. I love Delhi food. I love Bombay food, but one city always ends up having a little nudge over the other.
I haven't spent enough time here.
Diplomatic answer, yeah.
I haven't eaten the same food in the different states.
I'll never do that. I'll never give him the same
What I've eaten in Bombay is all different to what I've eaten in Delhi.
Okay.
So I can't.
You're
decide.
dodging that question. I like it. Sarah, what about you?
I've taught him well.
Oh.
Because I'm dodging. No, but it's true because I said to him, I'll only give him vada pav in Mumbai. I'll only give him chole bhature in Delhi.
Yeah.
Like there's dishes where, you know, if he had vada pav in Delhi, I think it would be better in Mumbai and vice versa. So I think it's impossible to say.
Yeah.
Right. But still, you know, you've explored to whatever extent Delhi food and Bombay food. How do you think both the cuisines, both the food is different and similar? Like, did you find any similarities or like, okay, let me put it this way. How would you describe Bombay food and how would you describe Delhi food?
I think I've been lucky enough to eat off the street in both Delhi and Bombay and eat in some beautiful restaurants in both Delhi and Bombay. You know, they've got their differences with the scenery. I think, you know, having the beautiful beach to walk along in the morning in Bombay compared to having the cities and the beautiful parks, Logie Garden to stroll around here in Delhi. So very different, and it is too hard for me to pick. And that's only 2 places here in India. You know, maybe this time in 2-3 years time, once I've got at least 10 cities up my belt, I'll be able to refine it more to my favorite top 3 cities.
Okay.
But I can't wait to explore more of
But
India.
but Sarah, you tell me, like, you know, you have explored a lot. How would you describe, like, instead of picking one, how would you describe Delhi food and how would you describe Bombay food?
It's definitely the spice blend is very different. So I think when you come to Delhi, it's a lot more of those really warming spices. So they're just a little bit more bold in you know, their blend. And I think in Mumbai, you're on the coast and you're, you know, slightly south, so it's a little bit more tropical. You get those flavors of the sea coming through, and I think the spice blends kind of lend themselves a little bit more to seafood. I think that you can't put such an overpowering, say, chole bhature spice blend with a really delicate kind of fish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
So
yeah.
I think it's a lot in those spice blends.
Right. So you've covered Delhi and Bombay, Declan. When are you next coming back to India? And where are you guys heading? What are like? Have you guys planned?
We have very short trips
Short.
because our schedule's pretty crazy at the moment, but you can tell
We're coming back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Okay.
So we're
okay.
coming back in 2 weeks for a few days, doing Bangalore.
Doing Bangalore.
Bangalore.
Okay.
Uh,
Only Bangalore.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think
Okay.
so for that. And then, we're coming back early next year. We'll probably be back in Mumbai and Delhi, going to go skiing in Kashmir. I
Oh,
love
lovely.
skiing, and I can't wait to share that experience with Sarah, as well as try the food.
You're right.
Yeah.
So Bangalore, Delhi, Bombay, Kashmir. That's like
Oh, I
They're
think
confirmed, but we will definitely be doing other places.
Yeah.
So,
doing other places.
like,
Go
we
on.
always end up adding a few days on to
yeah,
the
Yeah.
end of each trip, but the destinations are planned in terms of some work,
yeah.
Mhm.
and then we extend.
I really want to go fishing.
In Goa, he can
I
go
want to
in
go
the
fishing in
backwaters.
Goa and then
backwaters,
bring
catch
the
some
fish
crab.
back, cook it on the beach, get in there, catch some
and
mud
probably you
crabs.
could restart your restaurant in Goa.
Exactly.
Yeah, we'll catch the fish and like
Yeah.
catch the produce and cook it
Fresh
and
every
serve it.
morning.
Yeah,
I think, and like you are all about surf and turf. I think
that's it. Declan's
it.
my name and fish is my game.
exactly. But thank you so much for
Thank you.
taking out time for this interview, and I wish to see you both again soon.
You-
Yes.
2 weeks.